Yoga should not be causing you any pain, especially if you have scoliosis. So if it is, then it's time to fix that. I want to show you the ways that your current practice might be making things worse and how you can change them so that you can continue to love your yoga in a scoliosis-safe way to keep you strong and pain-free. Scoliosis is a sideward curvature with a rotation, and scoliosis in itself does not hurt, does not cause pain, meaning just because you have a curvature doesn't mean that you have to have pain. But obviously, because your spine is curved in this way, all your muscles and soft tissues have to adjust. And those can sometimes cause pain if you're getting tightness, stiffness, achiness, anything like that. So yoga is obviously a great way to release the muscles, to release some of that tension, to overall strengthen your body. But obviously we know that scoliosis is an asymmetric condition, meaning one side of your body might be behaving very differently to the other side of your body. So it is absolutely essential that you really get a good understanding of your curve. So you might want to dig out some x-rays. If you've got a diagnosis, a written one, dig it out, have a look at that, have a look at how you stand, have a look at your habits. And if you want a little bit more help with that, we've got a 3-day challenge where you're getting to know your curve coming up. So make sure to check it out now. And it's just going to help you get started with a scoliosis-friendly practice. So yoga and Pilates in general are obviously not specifically designed for people with scoliosis. So there are some things that might potentially make things worse for you. So both in yoga and Pilates, we do have a lot of movements that rotate your spine, that go into flexion of the spine, so rounding forwards. We've got back bends, especially in yoga. We've got lots of back bending poses. We've got lots of poses that increase your flexibility. So it might be going over to one side and to the other side. So these are all good movements, and we do want our spine to be mobile, of course, but you might have spinal fusion already. So you might already have kind of limited mobility. And also scoliosis is a condition of instability. So too much mobility, too much flexibility can give us problems in the long term. So all these movements are not necessarily bad, but it just means that whichever movement we do, there is probably a little bit more asymmetry going on than in a person without scoliosis. So for example, if you've ever had a scoliosis diagnosis, the physician will have you bend forward, so round your spine as much as possible, because when you're rounding your spine, they can see the maximum amount of rotation in your spine. So this is very, very important to understand when we're obviously going into our exercises. The other thing, or the other example, is bending backwards. We're not going to evenly bend backwards with scoliosis, but there's always going to be a little bit of a twist going on, and one side might be bending backwards differently than the other one. So obviously this doesn't mean you have to kind of be walking around like a robot and be really scared of any movements. Movements are great, and studies have shown that even bad movements are actually better than no movement at all. So I really don't want you to be scared of experimenting and trying out different movements, but you need to make sure that you really understand your scoliosis, your individual patterns, so that you can start to modify. And especially yoga twists can be great to increase and improve your mobility in your thoracic spine. But of course, with scoliosis, we need to make sure that we're not going further into our scoliosis pattern and potentially leave you feeling even more rotated than you did in the beginning. So watch this video here where I show you some ways to modify your twists so you can practice them in a scoliosis safe way that doesn't make things worse and doesn't cause more pain.